So we have a busy day today. I'm on the way to the WNBF Battle of the Bay. It's about 7:39 in the morning. I have a little more than an hour drive to get there. Probably maybe more nervous than they are, maybe. I really want them to have a great time. Like, that's my main objective. All their hard work that they've put in up to this point, they're going to enjoy themselves. They worked far too hard, not to be able to celebrate the journey here. And of course, we all want to do well. We want to place, try to win, that type of thing. But what's important, they have a great time, because I can tell you, competing for over 30 years myself, I don't really look back on the placings too much. It's more so just the memories of being on that stage and, sharing it with family, with friends, the other athletes backstage, just having that camaraderie. Those are the things that you cherish the most. So I just want to make sure that my athletes today, they're feeling as relaxed as possible so they can enjoy everything that I just kind of touched on. As a coach, leading up to that show, I had 7 athletes competing in it. I was feeling the pressure of that. Definitely super busy, trying to write up 7 peak weeks, monitoring 7 athletes on a daily basis leading into the show, and then also writing up 7 show day plans. So I was feeling the heaviness, I was super busy. But at the same time, I was really enjoying it. Very exciting having that many athletes in the same show. So it was really cool to be able to go to the show and share the experience with my athletes. The day in and day out stuff, it can be kind of a grind. It's tedious, it's hard, it's tough. But the day of the show, sometimes our nerves, they get pretty elevated. Sometimes we don't thoroughly enjoy show day. What it comes down to is that is the celebration of the journey. I can take you guys back, when I was in my 20s and 30s, all those shows that I did then, it was almost as if I was prepping on an island, because social media wasn't all that prominent back then. So the day in, day out stuff, it was just me by myself and, just going through that grind alone. You can just feel lonely going through that process. So as a coach, having that many athletes in the same show, I thought it'd be a great idea to have a Google meet and greet. So I had everybody on a video call a couple weeks prior, and it gave us the opportunity to introduce ourselves to one another, learn about one another. And as a coach, what I wanted to really do was build camaraderie, build a team environment. So that way, when we got to the show, we got backstage, a lot of those nerves around the show, it would be shared nerves, and we'd be able to calm each other down. That's exactly what happened. Backstage, it was a terrific atmosphere. One of my athletes, Vig, I'm going to give him the Team Spirit Award, because every time I looked up, he was encouraging people, he was talking to people, lots of positivity. I really appreciated that. And, as an athlete himself, he's had a long and hard road, just like, the rest of us, but he fulfilled his current potential. He presented his best physique. And what's really cool is this is the first time he's ever done bodybuilding. We prepped together a few years back. He was doing men's physique, in a sense, to do bodybuilding. Try to learn all new poses, getting up there the first time in that class. I felt like he did a really good job. And now we're on to the California Muscle Mayhem. And the goal is to bring him in with a little bit more conditioning. Outside of, just aesthetically how we look in the moment, I think it's always important that we're looking at the grand scheme of things, like the road that got us to where we're at. And we both agreed this contest prep wasn't about like hitting top peak conditioning this season. It's more about this prep was setting up future preps, because it was a big investment on changing his body composition. And from that perspective, we were super successful. Congratulations, Vig, on a terrific show, and truly appreciate all the support that you've given myself as well as all the other athletes.
Big. So what's the best part of today so far?
The best part has been hanging out with everyone here, especially Jeff and Nino and all the other 3DMJ athletes. I think it's like a brotherhood, and it's fun to actually connect with everyone outside of social media. So I think that's the biggest win for me. And yeah, great to be here and great to be on stage. And
David Liu, first time competitor. We were heading into the debut classic division as well as the debut bodybuilding division. First time prepper, but this guy is as cool as the other side of the pillow. Every week, he's checking in, kind of the same energy, never too high, never too low, just very even keeled. And he simply just executed the protocols, never deviated once. So that right there is what it takes to go very far in this sport. And his physique, he's got good symmetry, he's got round muscle bellies, and the posing, we put a lot of work into that, doing quite a few video calls. And he's nailed it down pretty well. Going out there for the first time in the debut classic division, you can kind of tell the nerves got to him a little bit. He was a little bit unsure of what to do in between poses. But once he got out of that class and, gave him a little bit of backstage coaching, when he got into the debut bodybuilding class, he was on it. Basically, he looked a lot more confident. He looked like he'd been there once before, which of course he was, just a few minutes prior. But he did great. He ended up taking second place in debut classic, and then in the debut bodybuilding division, he took third. So those are some very good placings, getting up there for the very first time. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of upside in his physique. And again, he has what it takes to push himself in the future. So we've been working hard trying to improve that conditioning heading into the California Muscle Mayhem. So congratulations, David, on a terrific showing.
First time ever on stage. Tell me about it.
It was a lot. It happened very quickly, a lot to process at once. But no, I had a good time. Lots of fun. I'm looking forward to the next one. Getting a bit more conditioned. So that wraps it up.
Yeah, but I mean, the conditioning will come. But you pretty proud of yourself? Or
I am. Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate all the.
And then we have Mark Adkins, this guy, for being in his 50s, absolutely crushing it. This is our second season together. When it comes to conditioning, he knows how to bring it. So I would say arguably he was the most conditioned athlete in the show. So he ended up winning the Masters in bodybuilding as far as 50 and over. In the open class, he took a very respectable fourth place finish. It was a stacked class, it was a really good lightweight division. But this guy, I'm telling you, he brings it. He's one who does not complain whatsoever. It can be the hardest day ever. He's going to see the positivity in it, and he's going to see that just breathing is a blessing. So he really doesn't let the suck get to him at all. He's one who just really gets in there and grinds, and he's helped me in my prep back in 23. I was having moments of uncertainty. He was there to remind me, even in the darkest moments, it's not as bad as you think. Just keep moving yourself forward. I really appreciate his efforts. I appreciate everything that he's brought to the stage. But yeah, congratulations, Mark. Did awesome. So next up, we have Hao Liu. And Hao, this is our second prep together. He did the Battle of the Bay a few years back, and that was his rookie season. And since then, we've had a tremendous off season. Like, he has packed on a decent amount of muscle. And our goal this season was to venture into classic bodybuilding and also to stay in the men's physique division. Posing was really, really good. Thoroughly enjoyed his posing routine. He crushed it with that. And in the end, I think we had a very respectable showing in the classic division. But in the men's physique division, That's where he really shined. He ended up getting a top 3 spot. He got world qualified. Congratulations on that, Hal. But yeah, I think we came in looking really, really good, like great shape, pretty good conditioning, presentation was on point. And I think we both learned this is the vision for him. This is where we have our energies now moving ahead. So for the California Muscle Mayhem, the goal is to level up that conditioning a little bit more. And this will be the season ending show for him. And then, off season, we'll continue to make some improvements. So yeah, congratulations again on a terrific showing, Hal. So I got to talk about my man, Nino. And Nino, no doubt, best smile of the show, hands down. And his personality is just very uplifting. Just being around him, it's hard not to be in a good mood. But this is our second show together, the WNBF Central Valley Classic in Fresno back in August. That was his debut show. He did really well there. But this show, we leveled up that conditioning. We had more time dieting. We stayed locked in. I nudged him just a little bit more. He said he was fine going through it. Talking to his wife at this last show, she said that, it was a little bit of a struggle there. But he persevered and he leveled himself up. And going into the Battle of the Bay, we did novice bodybuilding, and he was able to walk away as the novice champ. So congratulations on a terrific showing, Nino. As I'm making this video right now, he's actually going to be competing tomorrow in an OCB show in Hermosa Beach. He's doing the open division, and he was a little bit nervous about going to the open, but he is ready. It's an opportunity to learn exactly where he's at, to see himself up against other guys in the open class. It's probably going to help us gain a lot more clarity as we go into the off season in regards to what we need to work on. So in a sense, we're going to be able to see where his strengths really are and also where his weaknesses are. And that's going to help us game plan the next off season. The goal with the next time he goes to compete is going to be, see if he can get that pro card.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I just, celebrating all the hard work, all the, tough times at prep and everything, and then just putting it all together, displaying it, and then afterwards, it's like, you get to enjoy you get to reap the hard work you sow.
Now with Eric, this is our second season together. We had our first season a few years back, and it was a really good debut season. I think we had a top 3 finish in one of his shows. But in the off season, he worked really hard and he put on a decent amount of muscle. He made some refinements. Of course, we have that experience from this first season heading into this season. We've done pretty well so far. He did a show not too long ago where he was just shy of winning a pro card, just really, really close. So coming into the Battle of the Bay, and of course, that was the goal, to see if we can get that pro card. And in the middleweight division, he definitely had the best overall physique. The symmetry, the muscle, good conditioning, and the posing was really, really good. So he was able to claim top honors there. And then heading into the overall, it was a little bit tough for me as a coach, because in the lightweight division, I had Daniel, who this is our first season together. And we started working together in the off season. We set up a big picture, game plan for this season, and he's absolutely crushed it. He's more of an advanced bodybuilder. He's been lifting for quite some time. He's competed in the past, but again, this is our first season together. And what we really wanted to try to do was to just really level his conditioning up to a place where he's never been before. And we did that. Heading into the Battle of the Bay, we were touching new levels of conditioning. But in the lightweight division, it was a really good class. There was Daniel, there was Christian, who ended up taking second place, and Christian works with Alberto as a coach. And They did terrific work together. Christian, great shape to his physique, great conditioning, best abs, no doubt, in the class, and just a really down-to-earth and very nice guy. I thoroughly enjoy hanging around him backstage. But he did great. And then Mark, who won the Masters over 50, he was also in the lightweight. So we had 3 of our athletes in there. But Daniel just had the best overall package. He was the biggest. He had the best conditioning, and his posing was really, really good. And the thing about Daniel is, when we first started working together, our first posing session, his posing was not very good. And he'd be the first to admit that his posing was not very good. But we put in a lot of work. We put in a lot of video sessions together. But on his end, he put in a ton of work, a lot of practice. And I can't stress enough how important that practice is. His posing definitely looked really good out there. And he got the nod in the lightweights, and that meant going into the overall with Eric. So as a coach, you have 2 guys in the overall. Of course, you want both of them to win. Hard to try to cheer on one or the other. So you're trying to give equal attention to both guys. Outside of just being a coach, I was a fan. I was thoroughly enjoying the show, just watching them, go through the poses. The heavyweight, who had a lot of muscle, So I wasn't sure. I was like, man, this heavyweight backstage looks really, really good. He might be the front runner. But once they started going through the shots, especially as they started to turn to the side and then turn to the back, it became pretty clear that Daniel just had the overall best physique. He had the least amount of flaws. That's probably the best way to describe it. He had the best symmetry, he had the best conditioning, posing was really good. Just overall, he was definitely well deserving of the victory. So congratulations again, Daniel. You absolutely crushed it. But congratulations to the entire team. I am super proud of every single one of you. I thoroughly enjoyed my experience, and deep down, it really wasn't about your guys' placings. It was just ensuring you guys had a terrific experience. You had a great time, and I feel like a big part of the reason we all had such a great time is because of the camaraderie of what 3D Muscle Journey is all about. It's about a team. And I really look forward to, the next adventure for sure. And if any of you guys watching this, if you want to be part of something special, then I'm going to say, let's go. Let's make 2026 your year to really go through the process, to go through the journey, and to celebrate that journey on stage. Because oftentimes social media, they're just showing you guys the winners of these shows, they're holding their swords and all that. And they're like, look, they won, they're shredded. But there's so much more to this than just that external award. Just in a sense, going through this process, you learn so much about yourself, about what you're capable of achieving. And yes, it's hard. It's a grind. You're going to feel hungry. You're going to feel tired at times. But when you get to the finish line, regardless of your placing, that you just cannot describe that feeling of accomplishment. You realize you can do anything. You can definitely use the principles that you learned through bodybuilding and apply it to other areas of life. And if you guys are interested in working with the team, whether it's contest prep or it's just getting in better shape, hit us up. We'll be honored to work with you. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys on the next one.